older women telling younger women that, oh, well, you'll be hot in your 30s or 40s, maybe even hotter. And that could be true in some ways. Some people are late bloomers, but I think what's better for older women to tell the girls in their 20s is that you have the highest opportunity right now.
Right.
Being 20. So figure out what you want and go after that and settle down if you find that. You can't hate men and expect to get a man. Just like men can't hate women and expect to get a woman.
I'm just saying that at that age, it's not going to be tolerated at all by a guy. And and I would say, obviously you can't just dwell on the past. But I think the thing that's important to understand is just to not be in denial of it, because there's a lot of women that are older and they really do a number on younger women by telling them, oh, you don't have to worry. You got plenty of time. It doesn't matter. In your 30s or 40s, you'll be just as attractive, maybe even more so. When you say that, you're poisoning people. That's not good. And you're poisoning yourself, because that's not the reality. You have to just accept the reality, but it's okay. It's not a bad reality. It's the truth of it. But if you won't accept that yourself, here's what's going to happen is you're going to think that that's true. You're going to kid yourself into doing that. And then you're going to act like that's true. And so you're going to start to pretend that your value is higher than what it is. And when you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to alienate yourself from the guys that actually would be good relationships for you. So that's why I'm saying is because you're going to discard those guys, and that's not that's not a good plan.
Older women telling younger women that, oh, well, you'll be hot in your 30s or 40s, maybe even hotter. And that could be true in some ways. Like you said, like some people are late bloomers, but I think what's better for older women to tell the girls in their 20s is that you have the highest opportunity right now.
Right.
Being 20. So figure out what you want and go after that and settle down if you find that. Because the thing is, just like you were like, well, we can't put an age on the wall, even though people try to do that, you can't really say that people might not be more attractive. Like, yes, in general,
you can.
Well, in general, it is a difference, but some people do blossom later. I'm not saying they're going to be the hottest that they've been at 40, but it's also a little bit different now where, if you take care of yourself and do all these things, you're not dropping off the freaking Mariana Trench when you hit 35.
Yeah, but that's with plastic surgery and all of those things, right? So again, maybe there's a rare exception where you should just count on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you shouldn't count on winning the lottery, right? Maybe you win the lottery. Hey, if you do good, don't count on it. That's all I'm saying. It's in general, even like men have a little bit of an advantage because their physical, like the way that women are attracted to men is more of an encompassing thing of the man and how he carries himself and the status and all of these other things. There's obviously the physical attribute to it too, but even men, as they get older past a certain point, they're not going to be as attractive. That's just how it is. Like you get old, you get wrinkled, like everyone suffers the same fate. It's just that because women's value, their sexual marketplace value is more based on the beauty and the youth, that it affects them more. That's the truth of it.
But also at the same time, everybody knows that those things fade. And so the reason that I feel like women don't focus as much as men do, even though women do know to some extent, or now they'll know after watching this, that men value that, is that it's not permanent. And I think that especially older women they get to a point too where they're like, if you don't like me for who I am, then it's not going to matter anyway. Because they know that they're not 20.
Right.
They know that they're not in the same playing field in a lot of ways as the younger women are. But also at the same time, they don't want shallow relationships a lot of the time. I feel like the only older women who want shallow relationships are ones who didn't interact with shallow relationships in their 20s. They were either married or, in a long-term relationship that ended up breaking up, but took up maybe 10 years of their life.
Right.
So most older women have a better understanding of what they want. It is harder for them to find it because they don't have the initial attraction of being 20 years old, but they also are less likely to settle for, a superficial relationship as far as like them having to worry about being hot all the time. Whereas like a 20-year-old might interact in a relationship like that where they're like, oh, well, I have to wear makeup to the grocery store. Like a lot of women that are older, they're like, I'm not putting on makeup to go to the grocery store. Like, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be presentable if they're like going out on a date, but they're in a different mindset a lot of the times. And I'm not saying that these women are like, I don't care about being attracted to men.
Right.
But they also are smart enough at that point, usually, to know that they can't control the age attraction.
There are a lot of them that aren't, though. There's a lot of them that are in denial
of being their age.
Yeah, and that are more so on the makeup all the time, and right because.
Well, yeah, you're right. There are some, but
again,
I feel like most women though that have done a lot of the work and they have the standards and things like that.
Exactly.
Then they're not a part of that.
And there's
group.
also the whole like, you either like me or you don't. But then it's like, but do you even like you? Like, have you done the work? If you've done the work, then you should absolutely have that attitude. But if you haven't done the work, then you should. Just like when we give guys the advice of be yourself. Such bad advice, because yourself is a little pussy right now. Like you need to grow up and be a man and then be yourself. Like grow into the actual man that you are and be that man. Don't just be yourself like where you are. Like I just jerk off and play video games and that's myself. That's honest, but it's not your capable self. That's not what's in there. There's a lion somewhere in there. You got to find it and bring it out and become that. Right. So.